morning and welcome. I am Amor Montes, the Executive Director of IWC. I am thrilled to be standing here, live and in person, in the auditorium, filled with friends, colleagues, and several new faces. Thank you for making time for it. Today is a full circle moment for me. The last time IWC held this spring conference, I was in the audience, an attendee beginning a new journey, and what a journey it has been. I was privileged to be named IWC's first executive director, committed to advancing its mission. Thank you. Committed to advancing its mission and building our community. Little did we know how our approach would change. Pandemic and the pivot to virtual. Not only has IWC survived, it has thrived. What a community we have built and a steady contribution we have made. It is our hope and intention that here today you experience all that IWC has come to stand for and get inspired to continue to shape our collective future. Today, you'll have access to thought leaders and change makers. You'll meet some of the people who have graduated from our mentoring program, experienced professionals who committed to mentoring others newer to the industry, and those mentees, some of who have already advanced professionally, due in part to this program. You'll also have the opportunity to engage with cannabis businesses who support our work through sponsorship, such as Curaleaf, our premier sponsor, Berlin Packaging, Mindy's, Denton's, Green Spoon Martyr, Ascend Wellness Holdings, Hub International, Verano, Crow, and GTI. Thank you all very much for your support. You know, IWC is a non-for-profit, and your financial support is critical. An example of the difference your support lets us make, we are able to include people for whom normal memberships prices are a barrier. Many of those members are here today, so thank you. When you are here in the auditorium, thank you for your support. When you are here in the auditorium learning today, we've created spaces to facilitate the networking all of us have wanted after the years we've had. These spaces are presented by IWC supporters who are always ready to amplify and optimize our mission. The IWC community also shines in the volunteer staff who welcomed you here today and will help you through your time with us. From members who have remained committed since our inception 6 years ago, to new members eager to help shape the green evolution. Perhaps our increasing relevance to Chicago, the state of Illinois, and the equitable state of cannabis is reflected in the fact that we deserve to host one of the most powerful and distinguished African-American business leaders, known for her socially conscious approach to leadership. Soon, we will all get infused by Ms. Dorri McWhorter's vision and energy. GTI is privileged to have her among its boards of members, and we are privileged to feature her as our keynote. Thank you. Before we experience this change maker, I invite you to continue to shape IWC's mission. There are a few immediate opportunities. We will be accepting applications for our mentoring program soon, and are soliciting new members to actively participate in various committees integral to presenting what we've provided for you today. Also, stand by for information on IWC's board expansion. Growing its leadership is among our priorities. Thank you. Now it's my honor to introduce my friend, Silvia Rogel, Chair of our Professional Development and Education Committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Hey, what's up? Good morning, everybody. Woo, let me get myself centered here. My name is Silvia Rogel. I am the chair of the Professional Development and Education Committee. I've spent about 10 years in the nonprofit sector. I work for a nonprofit in professional development for educators, K through 12. Providing equitable, enriching opportunities for educators is important to us. Providing opportunities to further develop themselves and the students that they serve is also a mission that we embark on very proudly. We center our work in equity and culturally responsive practices that are inclusive of all teachers and students. So when the opportunity came to join the Professional Development Committee, I was like, let me think about it. Could I really provide, something valuable? I thought about it and I thought, you know what, there are skills, as you'll learn in the other session at 2 o'clock, that you can bring from other sectors into the cannabis space. We were thrilled, and it felt like really familiar territory for me, because that's what we do. We help others gain the skills and training for the betterment of themselves and those they serve and work with. When the opportunity then arose to start a mentoring program, I was also all about it, especially knowing that with a lens on equity, we really wanted it to be a program that could bring women from all ages and backgrounds, and that's exactly what happened. So for that, I want to say thank you to the committee. We really worked hard. We worked on this project for 6 months. Initially, twice a month in the first months, but we really wanted to be thoughtful and methodical. So, excuse me, we came together, we developed a process, guidelines, the application, a scoring and matching system, a pre and post assessment to measure the effectiveness of the program, and we wanted it to really, provide opportunities for women to grow in the cannabis industry. The mentee applicants really were as diverse and colorful as the plant we all just love so much, and we did err on the side of caution, being careful not to overpromise and underdeliver. I'm pleased to say that we were able to make 14 successful matches. Our participating mentors were extremely knowledgeable and willing to uplift others to get started and to help them grow and refine their goals. The mentees, too, were eager, hungry for information to help their own cannabis journey. I'm happy to share some of those insights with you now. Most either agreed or strongly agreed that the program helped them grow professionally. Most either agreed or strongly agreed that the program helped them make significant progress toward their goals. As chairperson leading these efforts, I was extremely proud and overjoyed to know that our committee made a difference in the lives of those who participated in the program, even if it moved an inch. Slow progress is progress nonetheless, right? Other notable responses were, I want to rave about my mentor. You ladies did an amazing job pairing us together. She has gone above and beyond to help me with my presentation skills, career growth, and in general cares about my well-being. We met for breakfast this morning and had an absolutely wonderful conversation. Mentee, I want to let you know how amazing this program is. The way you have matched everybody is perfect. Thank you for letting me participate in the program. Mentor. I wanted to reach out to you to tell you how amazing this experience has been for me. I hope it was the same for my mentee. She absolutely is tremendous. And I know that at its core, this is bringing a new generation of women into cannabis. That's a mentor. It was really satisfying to know that the program made brought significant value to the mentees, but also to the mentors. That was a really gratifying, thing to read, and I really wanted to share that with you. He continues on to say, and it was a he, it's important to recognize that men can also be allies in helping women to further themselves in the cannabis space. So I just wanted to share that. So he goes on to say, it would be an honor to continue it, and I'll do whatever it takes to help promote it. Our committee really is proud of the work that we've accomplished thus far, and we look forward to continuing our work on behalf of Illinois cannabis lovers, workers, and entrepreneurs and advocates. I want to take this time just very briefly to thank my committee members. You guys really accepted me into this space and made me feel welcome and allowed me to shine. So I am truly grateful for that opportunity. Now I want to focus to the lady of the hour, our keynote speaker, Dorri McWhorter. I had the pleasure of attending a 2019 conference, The Arc of Innovation, Timeless Lessons from Thriving Nonprofits, back in 2019 at North Park University, where Dorri received a recognition for the work she was doing at the YMCA. I was very impressed by her and others. Much like many of us aim to do, she is certainly making her mark in the world. With her passion for mission-driven work and her visionary leadership skills, she's always looking through a strategic, innovative lens for ways to help drive change, collaboration, and inclusion. During her tenure at YMCA, Dorri increased the annual operating budget from $10 million to $35 million. She's a killer. She sure is. And she was previously named to better list of the Chicago area's top Black women of impact. She has appeared on the Chicago Tribune's Blue Sky Innovation list of top 100 innovators and is a 2019 inductee to the Chicago Innovation Hall of Fame. Now that she's at the YMCA, she still believes that anything is possible for people so long as we can help to break down the barriers and remove challenges that keeps a lot of those same people down. She uses her voice on corporate boards to help create, support, and implement change. And she does it with loving kindness, knowing well that the people she serves at the YMCA have been through many challenges throughout their lives. Prior to her work in the nonprofit organizations, McWhorter was a partner at the accounting firm Crowe LLP, a Northwestern University graduate. Now she's the first Black person and first woman to lead the over 100-year-old organization. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for President and CEO, Ms. Dorri McWhorter.
First of all, thank you, Silvia, for that kind introduction. And you say 2019 like it was like 2019 was like 50 years ago, right? It does feel like that. So I just cannot tell you how honored I am to be amongst all of you. First of all, I'm new to the industry, just joining Green Thumb's board probably about a month or so ago, right? And it's just been such a welcoming environment, particularly with the Illinois Women in Cannabis. You all have just been just amazing to the outreach and just the support you've already provided me personally. And I'm just thrilled to just even know that this community exists. And so I'm just so excited to be even part of this event since we're sort of not post-pandemic, it's not such a thing, right? But since we're not in 2019 anymore, how about that? So, you know, I know a lot of you today, there's a range of experiences here, including some folks that are interested and newer to the industry like myself, and some of you who have been really working on so many different aspects of the industry for some time. You know, regardless of sort of where people are sitting today, I just cannot tell you how thrilled I am that women are coming together and making our way in this relatively new industry at this time. And I just think that now is our time. When I was looking at, just sitting here and looking at the poster and the mission of Illinois Women in Cannabis to empower women to take leadership roles in the Illinois cannabis industry, I just think that that's exactly what we need to be doing wherever we are. You know, and so Amor, I think, had run through, there you are, Amor, you moved. Ran through sort of the agenda for today, but you'll hear from a variety of speakers about the opportunities in the industry. And I just get so excited hearing this, right? That we are truly lucky to be alive, right? And lucky in so many ways, given what we've been through with the pandemic, but truly living at such an exciting time. It really is rare that we get to be at the very early stages of an industry. And while we all know that the products aren't new, as cannabis has been around for centuries, you know, as I've been doing my research, you know, George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, y'all all know this, right? Grew hemp, right? I'm like, and I even read something that said the Declaration of Independence was written on paper made from hemp fiber. So we talking about a century-year-old products, right? But we know that we have an opportunity today to really evolve what this industry looks like and how it's shaped. And so what I want to do, as many of you continue to explore what you do within the industry, I want us to give as much focus and attention to not only what we do, but how we do it. I appreciate that some folks have already in the industry really trying to put a lot of focus and attention around social equity and social impact. You know, this is great, and I know that we are all aware of the injustices that have occurred because of the criminalization of cannabis. You know, this actually takes me back when I was a freshman, so I went to Northwestern for my MBA, but I was a freshman at the University of Wisconsin-Madison in the late 1900s, so that's all y'all need to know about that. But I was an accounting major, and I did my English research paper on the legalization of drugs. At the time, I looked at all the categories, but specifically focused on marijuana. I still have that paper, actually. It's somewhere in my boxes. I just moved, and so I'm a borderline hoarder, and so I have everything. But my conclusion is exactly what we all now know, was that the war on drugs was not working, and it would be best for society to legalize it, regulate it, and yes, I'm an accountant, so yes, tax it. So, and no, I was not doing this at that time from a self-serving perspective for me and my friends. It really came from a place that recognized the destruction that criminalization approaches had on individuals, families, communities, and ultimately society. And this I saw 30 years ago, and we know it still exists today. But this is where we all come in, right? We can make a difference in this industry on so many different levels. You know, one of the things that I enjoy is studying business and the history of corporations and industries. That is absolutely fascinating to me. So one of my favorite shows that I watch all the time is the History Channel series, The Men Who Built America. Does anyone watch that? It's really good. I watch it all the time. So the series chronicles the rise of the great industrial titans such as Vanderbilt, Carnegie, Rockefeller, J.P. Morgan, and Henry Ford. Well, one particular scene stood out to me as it discussed how J.P. Morgan, Andrew Carnegie, and John D. Rockefeller, as business rivals, actually worked together to finance the election of 1896. They wanted to ensure that President William McKinley was elected to protect their interests. So I was like, interesting. So at that moment, I was thinking about this. You know, first of all, the entire series, you don't see any women. So I was like, where were the women who also helped build America? But second, I thought about that this is exactly why it is so important that women have economic opportunity. Not so we can buy elections, so Dina, don't be like, get her off the stage, because I'm not saying that, particularly given the policy panel coming up. But what I'm saying is that women have been experiencing the cumulative effect of being denied economic opportunity, and that has put us at a significant disadvantage throughout the years in being able to influence and advance our interest. So whether it's wage disparity, access to capital, now it's the Great Resignation, the she session, so hard to say. The point is that we've been collectively put at an economic disadvantage. So as we sit here today, at the early stages of this industry, how can we really begin to think about how we activate our power? So ladies, I truly believe that we have a platform and we can work together to reimagine all the practices, processes, systems, and structures that have not worked for us in centuries, because we are now in the room, we're at the table, and we can absolutely shape this industry. I get so excited about this because Chicago has such a rich history and legacy of women doing just that. I think about the company Rumi Spice and how Kimberly Jung founded the company, which produces saffron. Kimberly was an Afghan war veteran, and her mission at the time in Afghanistan was to destroy poppy fields to reduce the production of opioids. But what Kimberly saw was that these poppy farmers were not drug dealers, right? That they were trying to make a living. So she and her colleagues worked with the farmers to grow saffron, which was much more profitable than poppy. Now she is one of the largest exporters of poppy, as well as one of the largest employers of Afghan women. And Rumi Spice is right here in Chicago, right? Then there's a story of this unnamed woman at Amoco, when Amoco was in Chicago, who mentioned in a meeting that it was difficult for her to go pay for gas with her kids in the car. So because of her, we actually got pay at the pump. Now, I'm also convinced that some man said, we need a TV, and now we also watch ESPN at the pump. Because we clearly didn't come up with that idea. But my point is that these are just two examples, right? One of a woman who started a company, so an entrepreneur, and one of a woman who used her voice to create possibilities at a well-established company like Amoco, right? So my view is regardless of where we sit in this industry, I believe that we all have tremendous opportunity to be catalysts for advancing women and society. We all know, we talk about justice and we talk about social impact, but we all know when it's done right, it absolutely benefits all of us, right? So when I think about the catalyst that we can be as women to create great change, given that we're celebrating St. Patrick's Day, right, the parade is happening, I can't help but think about Mrs. O'Leary. Y'all know Catherine, right? So the infamous Catherine O'Leary, who was accused of starting the Great Chicago Fire in October of 1871. What you never hear, though, attributed to her is that by October of 1872, nearly $50 million had been invested in Chicago, and between 1872 and 1891, over $316 million were poured into the city. In 1873, despite a national recession, Chicago was celebrating its resurgence. So yeah, she was exonerated, right? But we do hear about Mrs. O'Leary starting the fire. But what you don't hear is that I think she was a catalyst for economic development. So, a little spin on history there for you. But what I want to do is invite us to think about how we can be the catalyst in this industry, starting right here in Chicago, in Illinois. How can we be a role model for the country as the city of big shoulders? As my friend Julie Smolansky, she's the CEO of Lifeway Foods, like to say, Chicago is a city of broad shoulders and some pretty amazing broads. So of course, I know that the amazing ladies and our men that are here today will lead the way and be a force in an industry that is growing and evolving. And I really do need us to lead this industry in our own unique ways because of the unique perspectives that we can bring to the table. So I'll close with one of my other favorite quotes. I have a lot of quotes. I could do quotes all day. But one of my favorite quotes says that as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. So I look forward to working with all of you to create an equitable and powerful industry while we are letting our own light shine. But this time I suggest we're a little more careful about how we light it up so we don't burn the city down again. So with that, I thank you all. Thank you. I appreciate having an opportunity to connect with this community today, and I look forward to working with you all and continue to see what we can create, because it really is on us to create what we are going to see. So, I also love the play. Oh goodness, it slipped my mind. Oh my goodness, the four guys that Johnny Cash. You know what I'm talking about? $1 Million Quartet, right? Thank you. I love the $1 Million Quartet because they snapped the picture and you just didn't know that these four random dudes are going to end up being who they were. I feel like that could be our moment, right? That what we're doing here today, we don't know which random person in this room will actually be the power that drives us forward. So I'll leave y'all with one more quote. Maya Angelou says that one solitary fantasy can transform a million realities. I truly believe that solitary fantasy can come from here, and we can see what will happen. So I just am so looking forward to continue to work with you all, to grow with you all, and see what we can create. Thank you.